Hi, everyone. So could we have the next slide, please? By a show of hands, how many of you can recreate this image of the galaxy with just pencil, a sheet of paper, and some paint? Do we have any artists over here? All right, we have one artist. Okay. All right, we have some artists over here. I personally can't. Now let's see how many of us can draw the next picture and be ready for it because it's going to be more difficult than this one. How many of us can draw this? A dot. All of us, right? All of us have to because we wouldn't be able to pass our geometry class without it. So all of us can draw this dot. What if I told you that drawing this dot is the only skill you practically need to draw the galaxy? You don't believe me? Yeah. Let me introduce you to Liu Bulin. He is known as the Invisible Man, and he paints himself with dots, strokes, and grids. Okay? And you can't even see where the man is standing because he's camouflaged himself so well. Yeah, wow, indeed. So, his work shows us that small dots can create a bigger illusion. Imagine how much hard work is needed to not only paint the background, but then also paint yourself to match the background. Let me repeat myself. His work shows us that small dots create a bigger illusion. And hence, ladies and gentlemen, begins the topic of my talk today, awakening your inner horizon step by step. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. When I was younger, I was always taught to create a routine, have a schedule, have a plan, have a timetable, and diligently abide by it. But now, as I'm navigating through my teenage years, this was the biggest lesson I had to unlearn. It sounds very contradictory, I know, but allow me to explain. In work, in school, we often live inside invisible boundaries and we don't even realize it. The deadline arrives, the alarm clock rings, a notification pops up. We limit ourselves to what's urgent and not by what's possible. And our lives are dictated by these metaphorical bells. And it's very ironical because alarm clocks were created so that they can keep us on track, remind us, guide us. But the more we live by bells, the less awake we actually are. Research shows that about 31% of the population is interrupted by distraction every 50 minutes. That's 160 interruptions a day. And once we've begun to scroll on Instagram or YouTube Shorts, it can take about 23 minutes for us to convince ourselves again, okay, now I need to start working, now I need to stop scrolling. So I think this is very relatable because all of us, I myself personally, have the struggle of scrolling on Reels endlessly without purpose. And when we live by these metaphorical bells, right, it's not living at all. It's just reacting. Our life today has become a series of consecutive reactions. So I want to try a little activity with y'all. I have a bunch of chits here, and in each chit there is a reflective question. There is no right or wrong answer. It's just, based on what you do or what you think is right. Can I have any volunteers to come up on stage? Yeah, the lady in the green dress. Just, all you have to do is pick one chit and try to keep the answer as short and brief as possible. You don't need to make it long. Just, and your opinion. I'll read the question for you. On average, how many hours a day do you spend on your phone? And what do you usually do during that time? I'm glad. No, continue.
Well, mostly I would say, see, my average is like 2 hours or like half an hour. I'm not. See, I'm not. These days, I'm like very busy. Like I don't muchly tend to like go on my phone because obviously, if I Obviously, if I go on my phone, my mom will start scolding me.
Yeah.
Or else she will like, when she gets mad at me, she'll like lock my phone, obviously.
Okay.
Okay, so I mostly tend to like either do mandala. I have like a really good passion for mandala, or I go out with my friends. It's like a stress relieving. Or like I have tuitions also. So it's like I barely have any time to stay at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Having the courage to speak up on spot is a quality I really admire, and so kudos to you. Okay, now this question, right, and every question in that shit, it points back to one simple truth we all know, we all have in the back of our mind, but we all often ignore as well. The choices we make today, right now, will inherently decide our future. Now, I want to present this through a golf ball analogy. Okay, imagine you have two golf balls right here. You hit one straight and it goes and goes and stops here. You hit the second golf ball from the same point, initial point, but you turn it from a small angle and then it goes and ends up here. Both of these golf balls started from the same position, but they ended up in different positions because of that small angle. That small angle is the difference in the choices I make and you make, where we will end up 10 years from now, 20 years from now. It all depends on this small angle. Imagine you're spending every trivial moment of your life without any purpose. You're scrolling through reels, as I mentioned before, or you're worrying about what others think of you, or you're chasing endless deadlines. 20 years from now, you look back and you realize, this is what I did in my teenage years, this is what I did in my early 20s, and you'll be so disappointed. The pain of regret is always greater than the pain of discipline. Now, do a little visualization activity with me, okay? Imagine yourself 10 years from now and be as delusional as you can, okay? Don't be limited by exams, job stress, financial commitments, nothing. Be as delusional, be as creative as you can. Something you really want, something that your parents told you can't do, something that society told you that you can't do. Where do you see yourself as? Maybe a famous singer? Maybe you have all the time, energy, money in the world to travel abroad. Maybe you have the perfect physique and have a six-pack. That's something I wish for, which is not going to happen, but okay, let's see. Okay. So you have this image in mind, right? Rewind this image. What dots did that version of yourself start from? What steps did you take right now? What steps did you take currently so that you can have that dream version of yourself? Those are the steps you have to take. And when I first did this visualization activity with my sister, right, a deeper question came in my mind. What is the purpose of my life? It sounds really philosophical. It sounds like I'm yapping on and on about philosophy and all. But really, what is your purpose of life? Why are you waking up on a day-to-day basis? See, our momentary goals are just momentary. Topping our board exams or having the best fashion sense or, impressing everyone with our jokes. Those are good goals, but those are just momentary. No one, 10 years from now, no one will remember who was the topper. People will remember what kind of a person you are. And to be very honest with you, even I don't know the purpose of my life yet. Most of us in this crowd are still teens. We have time. But the sooner we realize this, the better. And I myself am on the journey to have it all figured out. I don't. I want to share this one experience with you. Like most of us, I've had an inner resume built inside me. I'm good at X things, I'm bad at Y things. And for me, public speaking was one of those Y things. Stage fright was, of course, one thing, but I didn't think anyone would want to hear me yap for like 5 to 10 minutes straight. But then in 4th grade, my parents forced me to be in this fancy dress / debate competition / elocution competition. I don't even remember what it was. I just remember being really afraid for it. And I didn't want to go, but I went. And something unexpected happened. It absolutely sucked. It sucked. It went terrible. I have very vivid memories of that competition because I remember it was a fancy dress competition. I was like coming up on stage all confident and ready to impress the audience with my speech. And I looked into the judge's eye. I was trying to intimidate him with my Peppa Pig costume. which didn't happen. And the judge, he reminds me of this one actor I saw. You know the Velociraptor from Jurassic Park? Yeah, I saw the new Jurassic Park movie recently and I was getting like deja vu. Like I've seen those eyes before. So yeah. So as I said before, it sucked. I didn't win. I went again next year. Surprise, surprise, I didn't win. But since then, I've tried to get my hands on every debate, every model UN, every elocution competition I could get myself hands on. And if I told my fourth grade self that I'm speaking in a TEDx event for 50 minutes straight, she would very politely slap me and be like, who are you? But I'm proud that I get this opportunity, and again, I'm very thankful for it. And this is a pattern I notice in every endeavor I take up in my life. I've started karate, and for karate, I sucked at first. I got slowly better at it, and in 6th grade, I got my black belt. I've also done a lot of painting and artwork, and at first, I couldn't even draw an apple properly. But then, in 4th grade, one of my artworks were in an exhibition in UAE. So then, this is a pattern which, will repeat in every new thing you do. There's this quote I heard once: your first workout will make you feel extremely weak. Your first study session will make you feel extremely down. Your first speech will make you feel extremely underconfident, but it's not one speech that matters. It's not one workout that matters. It's the fact that you do it again and again with consistency. Okay. So now you've taken an initiative, you have a goal ready, you have all those, first aspects ready. But what should your mindset be while you're doing this? What is your core motivation? Why are you doing this? Is it to prove your bullies wrong? Is it to get into your dream college? Maybe, it's to earn respect from your parents. It can be any reason. No reason is wrong as such. But when your motivation goes down and when you feel like quitting, this is the reason that will drive you forward. This is the reason will be like, no, I have to do this because of this. This is my why. Now, there's this one book I would recommend from my personal experience. Okay, it's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. I read it around last year, September time only. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that this helped me in my board exam preparation for the better. This really changed my perspective on how I look at myself, my goals, my stress, my friends. And Mr. Covey in this book, he says that there is one thing that separates the dreamers versus the doers, and that one thing is proactiveness. Being proactive means taking initiative, means holding yourself accountable for your mistakes, making choices which are not dictated by someone else, looking beyond the bell. That means being proactive. And when I say being held accountable for your mistakes, I can give you an example. Suppose you get low marks in an exam, and your parents ask you the reason behind the big C on your report card. What would you say? Oh, the paper was too hard, or the teacher was too scary, she didn't teach me properly, she didn't complete the syllabus. That's something even I have said to my parents. And I'm not saying it can't be the reason, those might be the reasons, but at the end, it's you and only you who can decide your grades. You cannot control your problems, you cannot control your situation, but you can 100% control your reaction towards them. Take charge of your life instead of making choices passively. And once you've done that, right, trust me, first of all, there will be some kind of clarity. Okay, this is my, these are the things which are important in my life. I have to prioritize this, I have to prioritize that. And also, you ask yourself a deeper question. Is there more to life than just this? Is there more potential, more undiscovered possibility, more things that I don't even know about yet, which I can be good at, which I can excel at, but I don't know? You ask yourself this. You look beyond the limitations. And that spark, that awakening, that's it. That's the thing you need for success. Every successful person has had that spark in them once. And I'm not talking about just like a momentary thought that, okay, am I good at this? Am I bad at that? No. I'm talking about a physical vibration that goes into your body that, oh, I can do more than this. That realization, that self-awareness, that is your awakening. Now imagine, the final school bell has rung. Your schedule is done, everyone else goes home, and metaphorically, you're standing at the edge of your horizon. You have the power to jump and swim in the ocean. You have the power to jump and fly. You can look back and stay safely on the shore. All three of them can be right choices based on your potential. But the power to grow, the power to change lies in your hands. What will you do at that time? Because the world doesn't need more people waiting for bells to tell them what to do, waiting for deadlines to tell them what to do. The world needs more people waiting beyond the bell. And as said by the famous English poet, William Henley, it matters not how far the gate, though trials and troubles try my soul. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Thank you very much.